This is lesson 10 from chapter 3, exercise 3K, solving simultaneous linear equations using a CAS calculator. So our previous exercises, we have been looking at solving simultaneous equations via visual, where they intersect visually on a graph, where they intersect graphing it on a CAS calculator, solving them simultaneously the algebraic way, which is the tedious way. And this will be the fourth and final way of how to solve simultaneous linear equations using a CAS calculator, but not necessarily graphing it, but having the calculator solve it by itself in the main menu. It's a really simple way to do it. It's the most efficient way and the most effective way, provided that you put everything into the calculator correctly. So what you want to do is you're going to get your calculators out. I'm going to turn them on, and you want to make sure that you head to just the main setting. Now I've cleared everything on my calculator, but there's two things you're going to want to do. The first thing is you want to clear all. Click OK. And the second thing you want to do is to clear all variables. The reason why we do this is because when we're solving for simultaneous equations, we're going to have an x equal to something and a y equal to something. And clearing all the variables means that if there was previous calculations that had x or y equal to something, it's going to potentially distort the answers. So you want to make sure that you can clear all the variables. So any x's and y's that were equal to something previously, that will be cleared. So go ahead and clear all variables, and then we can work this out on a clean and clear slate. So the question we're looking at is we're going to solve the following pair of simultaneous equations: 24x plus 12y equals 36, and 45x plus 30y is equal to 90. Now we can graph this if we wish. The only problem is the only way that we can graph it is if it's in the format of y is equal to something. Now of course you can transpose these sets of equations, but there's no point. Okay, it can be done, but a faster way is to actually just have the CAS calculator solve it for us. So we are going to get our keyboards out. So go ahead and click on keyboard. My one's on the top here. And it's a bit cut off. I'll just drag it down here. And in the option of Math 1, somewhere in the middle column, second last one, we have this function here. This is a simultaneous equations icon. We're going to click that. And three boxes will pop up. The first one, we're going to put our first equation equaling to something. Second one, second equation. And then the third one, this is going to be what we want the calculator to solve for. Okay? Because we're solving a pair of simultaneous equations, we want it to solve for x and y. So the first one, 24x plus 12y is equal to 36. We're going to go ahead and type that in, 24. And just make sure that you have your times x, not just 24x. Know the instructions on here indicate that you can just put it straight as 24x, but just to play it safe, always put the times operator in. So it's 24 times x plus 12 times y. Now remember, your times symbol is going to look a bit different to mine. Yours is actually going to just be the normal multiplication symbol. So 24 times x plus 12 times y. Now, I know this seems pretty obvious, but make sure you make it equal to 36. I've had a lot of students just put the first part in without it equaling to something, and then they always end up getting the answer 0, 0 for x and y. You have to make it equal a certain number, in this case 36. Now, we're going to go to the next line. With your control pad, you're actually going to go down. You're not going to press execute. You have to go down. Okay, if you press execute, it's going to come up with an error message. So second one, 45 times x plus 30 times y is equal to 90. Here's a second one. We're going to go across, and then we are going to put what we want the calculator to solve for. Generally, when we use the solve function, we would just have it solve for x, but in this case, we wanted to solve it for x and y. So you want to go x, comma, y. Once you got everything filled in accurately, go ahead and press execute, and it will show you the two numbers, or your two solutions, x equal to 0 and y equal to 3. And when you get your solutions, you just write that as your answer. Now you can double check to make sure that when you plug these numbers into the equations, they will suffice. Okay, so when x is equal to 0, 24 times 0 is 0, plus 12 times y, so y is equal to 3. 12 times 3, 36, that one checks. And 45 times 0 is 0, plus 30 times y, which is 30 times 3, which is 90. That one checks as well. So this pair of numbers suffice, and they do work. This one's a nice and short lesson. The calculator does all the work for you, okay? Just when you're answering your questions, just to make sure that you know what you're actually putting into the calculator, it's of your best interest to actually write this down, and even into your notebooks as well, write this down so you understand the process. It's good to have this set of instructions here as well, but just the little things, making sure that you put the times in between, and making sure that you don't press execute straight away until everything has been put in. Okay, so that's lesson 10 of exercise 3. Okay, go ahead, check your log sheet and see what questions you need to do.